Hi, I'm Chris Schleter, master gardener, food blogger, and writer. Gardening, cooking, healthy and tasty food is my passion. Welcome to my country kitchen, where we'll cook fast, fresh, with the best ingredients you can find. Come join me now. We're gonna try some chipotle honey lime marinated chicken or shrimp. Today I'm using a chicken breast, but this recipe is awesome with shrimp as well. The key thing you have to do is make sure you leave it sit to marinate. I would say a good hour, maybe even overnight is even better. So what you need to do is just take some chicken breast or shrimp, and I just cut up into nice little wedges so they would fit on a skewer. And then I'm going to put them in a bag. This is a small amount. The recipe that I'm going to give you will have a larger amount. So you just follow the recipe. But if you just want to have enough for one or two, you just cut the recipe in half. Okay, so we have the chicken in there. And now we're going to add, I have a fine red onion, but shallots are also really good with this because they're a light onion. And they still get a really nice oniony flavor when you do that. Okay, and this recipe makes a big batch of marinade, so I'm using it for a small batch, but I'm also going to come back and reuse the marinade the next day. I'm just going to add the chicken, take it out, and put more chicken in it and use it for 2 days. So one day you can make it into salad or something like that, and the next day you can make it into just a dish with rice or something. And now I'm going to have 2 garlics in here. And you can either use a garlic press or you can finely chop them. It doesn't matter, anything is good just as long as you use it, because it's just the marinade to give it flavor. It's not going to be able to actually be on the chicken because the sauce will kind of sort of go in there, but not like it would if it was totally in a dish. Okay. Now I just need a couple tablespoons of some oil. We have 1 and we have 2. Okay. And now I need a couple tablespoons of some fresh squeezed orange juice. And if you have a lot of chicken, you just go ahead and just double this recipe. And then we need half of a lime that's juiced. The lime is going to give it that tartness flavor, and it also adds the citrus, and chicken and citrus and shrimp goes really good together, so it's really important. These are fast things you can do on any weeknight. As long as you prepare the marinade ahead, you could even do it the night before. You come home the next day, you got your chicken ready to go. Now I'm going to add a tablespoon of honey to this to kind of knock off some of that tartness from the lime. And I am using a good quality honey. This one is a raw honey. It's unfiltered, which is even better. And I'm just going to squish that so the honey gets a little bit moved around here. And now I have a little bit different item to add. It's a chipotle pepper in sauce. What is a chipotle pepper in adobe sauce? The adobe sauce is the red sauce that you see here, and this part of it is your chipotle pepper. You can grow chipotle peppers here. I grow them in my garden. They're green. They can turn green to red. You can even buy them dried and dehydrate them. They have a little bit of a spice to it, but it's a nice smoky flavor. And when you put them into your marinade, it really helps give the chicken, it even kind of turns it a little bit different color, but it's a great sauce to use in a marinade because it's easy. And if you find that it's a little bit too strong, when you taste the sauce and you think, I don't think I can handle it, it's too spicy for me, just double the amount of sweetener. So let's say I'm thinking, I want it a little bit not quite so spicy. I'll just you can add another squirt of honey. You could also use sugar. Anything that's a sweetener definitely will work. And I also need just a little bit of salt in here, about a teaspoon. So you're going to put this into the marinade and At least marinate it for an hour, I would say, for sure. And if you do that, make sure you have it flat when you're going to marinate it. And another tip, when you marinate in a bag, squeeze out all the air. The more air you squeeze out, the better it's going to marinate through the chicken, and you won't have any space where the air won't get into the chicken area. But you can see how nice it's marinating. And now I'm going to do, when this is done marinating, I am going to take this out to the grill and put this on skewers and bring it back, and we'll see what our sauce looks like. Okay, I just got these off the grill, and you can see they're perfectly done. When I grill my chicken, I grill it till the thermometer is at 160, and then I let them rest for about 20 minutes, and I never ever have dry chicken. So this is the sauce that we had that we put on there, and I have a little bit left over. So I'm going to set this onto the serving container so that anybody who wants more sauce can put it on as they serve themselves. And another thing I like to do is also add a couple slices of lime on the table, because you can just cut this in half a little bit and they can just go here and squeeze it on themselves. So if you have some lime just sitting here for people, they'll just take it and they can just squeeze it on, so you can just squeeze it right across the top. And I'll put a couple more here so that they are ready to go. And I have a couple tomatoes here. So what I would do is I would put a couple tomatoes on the edge of each skewer before you actually set it down. The tomatoes just add a lot of nice color to it too. You could also add peppers to this. You could add any other fresh vegetables, but just make sure when you grill them that they all are about the same size. So you can see I have them pretty much the same size. If they're different sizes, some will be done and some won't be done. So there you have it. This is the grilled chipotle chicken stick. And here's one more quick dessert that you can make on the grill or just without anything else but your hands and a couple of items. All you're going to do with this, it's called strawberry shortcake kebabs. You can use a pound cake, bought angel food cake, bought pound cake, whatever you have at home. And you just need a couple of skewers. And you also need a little drizzling. I have white chocolate chips and I have milk chocolate chips. And when I put these in the microwave, I maybe do them for a minute, but I always add a little bit of oil, and what I use is just a little bit of oil, of coconut oil, will just make it a little bit thinner. So that's gonna do. I add a little bit of oil whenever I melt my chocolate. Now you could also melt it on the double boiler. You could just stick this in a pan of hot water and it would just easily melt as well too. So I'm gonna put this in the double boiler here quick, and we're gonna melt this. When we come back, I'm gonna show you how to build a strawberry kebab. Okay, I just took the white chocolate, and make sure you use a good quality white chocolate. It really makes a difference to get the best quality that you can find, because it will be the best tasting chocolate on your kebab. I just cut my cake into little squares and alternate it with a strawberry. Any size strawberry will work. You can even do this with raspberries, but they fall off a little bit easier. You can do this with cherries and it works really good as well. Okay, there's one more piece I'll put on top. So that's what your kebab kind of should look like. And we're gonna flip it around this way, make it the other way for this one. If you use a pound cake recipe, make sure it's kind of a denser pound cake recipe. You don't want anything real light. You could use a cake mixes too, but cake mixes are a little on the light side. So I suggest a pound cake or angel food cake. And this is a no-bake dessert, perfect for when it's warm outside. There we have the kebabs, and all I have to do now is just dress them up with our melted white chocolate. I put a piece of wax paper under there. That's the best way to catch all the drips, because once you put these in the refrigerator, they will harden up quite a bit. And I'm going to add some of my milk chocolate as well. So they'll have a nice thick layer of some sweetness on there. And you can always reheat your chocolate as long as you do it low and slow. Once you have it too hot, your chocolate will seize and it won't work. That's another reason why I add a little bit of some type of oil to the chocolate chips when I melt them. Okay, and then I'm going to top it off with just a little bit of a sprinkles. You don't have to use chocolate, you can use any color you want, but it's basically you're layering sweetness upon sweetness upon sweetness. And it's good. So these are pretty much ready to eat. So what I do is I usually put them on a platter. And I'll set the whole big platter into the freezer or refrigerator. If you want it to be done really quickly, like 10 minutes, just stick them in the freezer and they'll freeze up right away. And then you can just serve them just like this as they are. Or you could also do with an after dinner mint. You put a mint there so that anybody who wants to take a piece of mint along with their kebab will have some fresh minty taste in their mouth. So get out there and start making some kebabs, make them fast, make them fresh, and make them fun.